What's up, everybody? Coach Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Valorant video. And in this video, we gotta break down 5 agents that you absolutely need to be playing in episode 3. Whether they recently received a buff or the meta of the game has aligned to their specific ability skill set, there is definitely a character on this list for you. So let's break it all down. But go to the GameLeap website right now for a special summer sale. 50% off, and you can get access to all the in-depth advanced guides, VOD reviews, tips, and tricks that you just won't find anywhere else. And if you want more in-depth content, we got tons of it on the GameLeap website. So go check it out right now down below. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. Now, kicking it off with agent number 5 on the list. This one might surprise you or might not. It's actually JETT. Now, JETT did get quite a few nerfs in this patch. A lot of her abilities became more expensive, and her ultimate is slightly harder to get. That being said, what JETT is good at, she's still incredibly good at. She's good at creating space, she's good at getting kills and getting out, her knives are amazing on eco, and overall, the character can do just about the most with the least amount of money possible, and you combine that all with the fact that she's an insane carry character. JETT is definitely a character you want to pick up, but she did get a notable buff in this patch, which is the sniper meta returning. The operator being 300 credits cheaper is a really big deal, and on top of that, with abilities as a whole being nerfed, weapons like the operator become stronger and stronger, and JETT can abuse that better than any character, period. Now, the beautiful part about this is honestly sniping on JETT is relatively easy, especially when you're talking about defense. You got to just make sure that you're confident in being able to hit that shot as people wide swing you and then instantly dashing away. Pretty simple stuff, not difficult shots to hit, but on attack, you need to practice jump scoping a lot more, or the jump scope dash. This is going to be something that takes a little bit of practice, but specifically if you get good at it, if you get good at either reaction checking people by pre-aiming and pre-firing angles and then dashing away, or waiting for one of your teammates to take an angle and then you take it and post up. Either way, JETT sniping is not that difficult to learn. It's going to get a ton of impact right now on the current patch, and for those of you who are looking for a duelist to play, JETT just might be your best option, especially if you favor sniping. Now, the next character that we got to talk about is actually a character that got changed quite a bit but is now just stronger than ever, and it's Skye. Now, Skye specifically, the fact that she lost a flash might seem like a big deal, but putting a flash on a cooldown means she gets more flashes overall throughout a round, and she can use it for information gathering a lot more. Now, that's not the reason why Skye is so much better. The reason that Skye is so much better is now you can be a lot more proactive with your own flashes. You could throw your flash out, for example, peek in front of it facing the enemy, pop the flash behind you while you're firing. Because of the change allowing you to actually fire while you're popping your flash, you can really pop flash people and duel with Skye in a way that you never could before. While Skye before was a character that really wanted to synergize with other people, work with her team, set up other duels for engagements, now Skye can do that shit herself. And Skye is in that perfect middle ground between an initiator and a duelist where she can help her team, benefit them, heal them, she gets information for her team, but on the flip side, she can take matters into her own hands. She can duel people straight up with her flashes, and if you combine both the aspects, Skye just does so much. And when you're talking about a ranked environment, Skye is so damn flexible, so damn good, and I think that she's going to see a dramatic increase in pick rate. Now, one of the tips that I would actually give you, besides just pop flashing enemies, is sometimes you can throw out your bird as a fake and enemies will turn on the bird, and you're going to be able to peek them without popping your flash at all. This is really good for taking angles or getting an ally to take an angle, because enemies just don't want to peek a potential bird, so they'll back off or they'll turn around, and your ally can push up and just use it to get into a position, but you don't have to pop it to potentially flash your allies. Now, the next character that we got to talk about is an agent that was extremely powerful before. Everything got nerfed, and this character did not get touched that much, and it's Viper. Now, Viper's snakebite got changed slightly, but really, her power level is in her smokes and her ultimate, and none of that was affected between her toxic wall, toxic orb, and toxic pit. Now, this agent is just incredibly strong right now. She was already strong before, but with Omen getting nerfed quite a bit, Brimstone still being pretty trash, and Astra being super nerfed, Viper is just one of the best controllers. Now, she's also a controller that can take the role of a sentinel as well. Incredibly good at stalling, incredibly good at retakes. And on the maps Haven, Split, and Icebox, Viper is just one of the best characters that you could be playing, period. Capable of just really shutting down an entire site. Now, I do have to mention her ultimate because I think that with the changes of her ultimate a while back where her teammates can hide in her ultimate, Viper's pit is just a free point take at times. It is so damn difficult to actually flush out a Viper and her team from a spike down and a Viper ult. Basically, if you can take point control with Viper, which should be pretty easy, honestly, with all of your utility and your team's following it up, you're basically going to win that round for free with your ultimate. Now, of course, there are some ultimates that can counteract your ultimate, things like Hunter's Fury that can potentially pick you off, or a list of other abilities that can really shut you down. But as long as you make sure to take note of what abilities enemies have, what abilities or ultimates that you're really looking out for, you're going to be able to just turn this ultimate into a 1-for-1 where you use it, you win a round, and that's just so damn powerful. Viper is definitely a really amazing character to master. When you're talking about lineups with her, both with your wall and your snake bite, there's just a lot to learn on the character, and I think that if you put the time and effort now, you're gonna just have this amazing character to climb with. Now, the next agent that we actually got to talk about is our number 2nd place, and I'm going to actually give it to CYPHER here. Now, Killjoy did get quite a bit of nerfs that is going to specifically affect her on attack, with increased cooldowns not only to redeploy her turret, but her alarm bot as well. Now, that would still make Killjoy better overall, especially on defense, but CYPHER did get some interesting changes. He did get the ultimate buff where it's easier to actually unlock the ultimate, but the true buff to CYPHER is the freaking JETT trip change, where JETT can no longer dash through CYPHER's trip. Now, I know that this is one ability interaction, one single ability interaction, but you got to understand just how impactful this change is. Jets would consistently dash through CYPHER's trips and allow for CYPHER to just be overwhelmed. Unlike Killjoy, whose utility was a lot harder to deal with, CYPHER basically was very simple to deal with if you had a Jett. A Jett could go in, dash through, all of a sudden the CYPHER is overwhelmed, and they're basically going to end up as a free kill getting bodied over and over again. You end up in far too many 1v1 gunfights or even unfair gunfights up against the enemy team, and your utility effectively does very little to stop the oncoming swarm. Now, that's going to be quite a bit different now, where Jets are going to have to play a lot more cautious. You're not just going to be able to get rushed down so quickly anymore, and that's a really big deal when Jett is literally one of the most characters played in the entire game. And this goes double when you're talking about ranked, where basically every single game will have a Jett in it, and the majority of strategies for most ranks is Jett, go in and dash through the CYPHER's trip, we're gonna rush. That's as far as the strategy goes. It's not complex, it's not baiting, it's not playing a default, it's rushing, and Jett can no longer do that. So CYPHER's gonna be able to have a lot more impact in ranked play, and overall, I think that with all the changes to Killjoy and the buff to CYPHER, CYPHER is gonna be back on the menu for a lot of us. Now, if I could give you one specific tip on CYPHER that is gonna get you even more impact, especially if you have a retake agent, someone like Sova, someone like Viper. If enemies are investing a ton of utility to actually come push you and take site control, leave a camera in a place that is very high up, very inconspicuous, and don't activate it. Save it for when your team wants to re-engage the point, and then when you activate it, you're going to be able to tell your team exactly where the enemies are, while they're going to be able to destroy it at that point. You're going to get that key information for the retake, and you didn't die getting rushed down. The enemy's already wasted tons of their utility, and you can just retake the point with your team. Very powerful stuff, but you got to make sure that you keep that camera hidden before you're ready to retake. Now, the last character that we got to talk about, the last agent that we got to talk about that you need to be playing in episode 3, and yeah, you might have guessed it, it's freaking KO, man. KO is absolutely nasty right now, and definitely a blast to play. Now, KO has several things going for him that just makes him one of the best characters to play in ranked right now. For one, a lot of people don't know how to play effectively around KO. KO has that advantage of enemies just not going up against KO that much, so that they don't really understand his play patterns all that much, and if you master KO very quickly, you're going to be able to leverage that for a lot of free wins. Another amazing part about KO is he has the means to both help his team and frag for himself, especially when the flash can flash from far away and flash and help his team in a similar way that Sky can. He can also flash for himself, pop flash around a corner, and take duels aggressively, so he gets the flexibility to be both a duelist and an initiator. Now, on top of that, an amazing part about his knife, not just the fact that it can disable things like ultimates and abilities and all of that really powerful utility, but it also gathers information. It also tells you what enemies are hit, and that's very similar to something like a recon dart. So KO gets to have that flexibility of gathering information, supporting his team, and fragging himself all in one. His ultimate is very impactful, being able to potentially get trades out and not die himself and get rezzed by his team. KO really brings a lot to the table all in one, as like this all-in-one package that is just perfect for ranked. He can do so many different things. He could fill a role, he could be an initiator, he could be a dueler. Whatever you need in ranked, KO has it. And in a lot of ways, he's kind of like that jack of all trades that Phoenix kind of occupied before, but KO actually just does that better because the information gathering is something that Phoenix can't do. The flash is actually just better than what Phoenix has, and the ultimates are kind of comparable. All in all, I think KO is one of the best characters to play right now, and is definitely going to reward you a lot if you master this agent as quickly as possible. And for that, I definitely suggest the GameLeap website down below, where we're going to be doing a full KO course, and we're going to have our top 100 player Tanner showing you his games in depth on how to dominate on KO. You're going to learn a lot, and right now it's a special 50% off sale, so make sure to go check it out right now if you want to master KO. But I really hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for coming by. I love your damn faces. See you next time.